Tiffany Stone, class of 1987, athlete. Tiffany Stone was a force on the basketball court in the mid-1980s. The 1985-86 season was particularly memorable as the team went 24-2 and the postseason run culminated in a runner-up finish at state. She finished her high school career averaging a double-double. Tiffany was awarded Bay Sportswoman of the Year in 1987 and was the first team All-State basketball selection in WBCA All-Star. In tennis, she was a state tournament qualifier and team MVP, as well as a two-time team captain. As a result of her basketball prowess, Tiffany was offered a full NCAA Division I basketball scholarship to William & Mary and became a four-year letter winner. Tiffany turned out to be one of the most prolific rebounders in program history, with a record that still stands almost 30 years later. Career rebound average, and a second in total career rebounds. She also accomplished a rare career statistical feat of over 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. In her senior season, William & Mary moved to eliminate the women's basketball program as a way to rein in costs. Tiffany and her teammates led a very public legal challenge and waged a PR campaign to keep the program alive under Title IX and won. In 2003, Stone was selected to the Colonial Athletic Association Legends Team. In 2012, she started Whitefish Bay's Jack Nagle Memorial Scholarship, which is awarded annually to an outstanding senior female athlete in honor of her former high school basketball coach. So here's another example of a Whitefish Bay student athlete that continues to give back to something that gave her so much. And I could find no better honor than to give her family, than to put Tiffany right next to her father on the Wall of Fame. So they are the first family pair, father and daughter, to grace the Wall of Fame. So congratulations, and Tiffany, the floor is yours.
I'm going to try to not cry. A lot of very friendly, familiar faces here. Thank you all for coming, and congratulations to all the other inductees for your amazing accomplishments. This is such a special place and such a special honor. And for me to be on the ball next to my father, I can't tell you how important that is. Almost as important, very close, is to be in that close proximity to Jack Nagle, who had such an amazing impact on my life, and I'll tell you all about that in a second. But I want to thank everyone involved in making this happen for me. My family, John Stone, the Hall of Famer. My mom, who is, you wouldn't know it, she's more competitive than anyone in the family. I think that's where my sister and I get it from, this unbelievable drive, and we always have to win something, even amongst ourselves. We always got to win something. And my little sister, Lacey Stone, who flew all the way in from Los Angeles to be part of this today. We're 11 years apart, but she's my best friend. And my inspiration, and the toughest kid you'll ever know, with the biggest heart. You just got to get to know her. Look for her on TV. She's on the E! Network. Revenge Body with Khloe Kardashian is her latest episode, and she's a fitness professional in her own right and has done an amazing job on both coasts. So enough about that. That's all you get. Thanks to my teammates and coaches, a lot of folks here that I didn't expect to be here, so I really, really appreciate it. Whether you're here for me or not, I'm just going to pretend you're here for me. Coaches, friends, you don't know the little impact you had on my life, and I wouldn't be where I am today. I've been at Coca-Cola for 20 years in marketing. There's no way I could survive that without the start here. This was the start of everything for me. Heidi Lang, thank you so much for nominating me. I couldn't believe it. I thought, why would you want to do this? I'm never going to get this. And she was very persistent. I'm so glad we reconnected. Heidi's actually part of the Coca-Cola family too now. I'm really proud of her to have her on board. And I'm so grateful for our friendship. I have to thank the folks that wrote amazing letters of recommendation for me. Kyle Snipes, who's the head coach at St. Pius X High School in Atlanta. I'm actually an assistant basketball coach in my spare time. Nothing gives me more joy than that. He's like the brother I never had, but he'd want me to tell you my younger brother. He's in his 40s too, but he tells the kids I'm older, he tells everyone I'm older, so he'd want me to tell you that too. But he very much reminds me of Jack Nagle. He has a college coaching background, and that's why I've been with him for the last 6 years, back-to-back state titles. Very proud of that. Karen Ryerson Oakford, who was the assistant coach at William & Mary, who recruited me off of VHS tape. Remember VHS tapes? My dad must have sent out 500 VHS tapes with all my best plays. You know, that's how it was. No one ever saw a bad play on a VHS tape, right? I can't believe they recruited kids off that, but I was lucky. She wrote an amazing letter as well. And then I know Maddie Nagle-Schmidt is here. Jack Nagle's granddaughter. Maddie's father, Jim Nagle, wrote an amazing letter of recommendation for me, which just touched my heart that he would write something like that for me on behalf of his dad, who meant so much to my life. And I want to thank the selection committee too for selecting me to be memorialized on the Hall of Fame wall in a place that's so special and so important to me. In the field house next to my dad and very close to my late coach, Jack Nagle, two of the most inspirational, motivating people in my life. So, that said, let's get on to more fun stuff. So basketball, I did play tennis too. It was very important. My mom had us out on the tennis court when we were little kids, 4 and 5 years old. Sometimes we hated it, sometimes we loved it, but it was good for us. And I was a good player, not as good as my sister, but definitely a good player. I played basketball until I was in my 30s, and then the wheels started to come off. You know, and you start to get in your late 30s, and you think, well, I know exactly what to do. I know what to do, but your body doesn't quite go there. You get hurt, and so that combined with I got my first technical foul in a rec league, and I said, that's it. I already had that career. What am I doing? Stopped playing, started coaching then. But it all began at Whitefish Bay, actually in our driveway on the corner of Lake and Circle Drive. I used to practice incessantly shooting. My dad would come out and I'd say, guard me, guard me. He'd say, Tiffany, I can't guard you. I could never figure that out. All he'd do is shoot free throws, the best free throw shooter you've ever seen. He never left his feet, just these set shots. And I thought, come on, Dad, like you're a legend, guard me. Dad, I understand now, because all I can do is shoot free throws. A couple 3-pointers now and then, but that's about it. Back to the driveway, sometimes we'd recruit my mom to come out and play defense on me. Bad idea, because it would always end with my dad saying, Jackie, stop fooling around. Be serious. So we have to end that. And then finally, without fail, my sister would be dribbling. You know, again, I'm 11 years older, so she's about this big, and I'm trying to shoot, and she's dribbling soccer balls, kick balls, basketballs all over the court. Thought we were going to knock her out with an errant rebound every once in a while, but she, talk about persistence, she was always out there. But sports were always part of our lives, and it was never a pressure thing. I was talking with someone out in the hall, you'd think with parents like that, that they'd be constantly on you and do this better and do that better. It was never like that. Anything, all of our drive was kind of self-inflicted. And they were happy when we did well, but it just was never a pressure thing. And it never got, it was always fun for me. And I want to thank you for that, for letting me decide how much pressure I was going to put on myself. Now I know they don't like how much pressure I put on myself now, but back then it was a good thing. I would say my start in Whitefish Bay, for me, all these years, 30 years later, you got a lot of time to reflect. I think the most memorable thing for me in this journey was the amazing support network that rose around me out of nowhere to influence me, to say things, maybe big philosophical things, maybe small things at just the right time, to maybe change my direction or help me make a decision, or get something in my head that would, you know, when you start start to think things about what you can do, what you can be. It's amazing where that takes you. Tom Bloomingdale was a 8th grade science teacher, and I'll never forget, and I didn't even start playing basketball until middle school. He said, when you're a junior and Sarah Brinker's a senior, you guys are going to the state tournament. What? I don't even know if I'm going to be on the varsity. And he's making this prophecy, and it was right. It came true. So I give him credit for that. Got in my head, you see, just that one statement. Marge Lohr, my tennis coach, the last couple of years, she kind of taught me that it wasn't all about how well you play, it's about leadership too. She saw the leadership potential in me from the beginning and taught me that sometimes that leadership trait is just as important, or sometimes more so, than the athletic talent. And I really appreciate that. And I didn't know Mr. Thielke was going to be here, so I have to tell this story. I hope you don't mind. You probably don't remember. And I was trying to choose colleges, and I didn't know. It was kind of late in the game, and I was thinking about Florida Southern or William & Mary. And obviously William & Mary had some pretty nice academic credentials, but Florida Southern, the coach was so nice. And Mr. Thielke said, where are you going to go? What are you thinking about? And I said, well, William & Mary's nice, but I don't know if I'm smart enough to go there. And at the time, the field house had a tartan floor, which we all were so sick of playing on a tartan. We wanted a beautiful wood floor. And I said to Mr. Thielke, in Florida Southern, Division II school, by the way, has this beautiful wood floor. I want to go to Florida Southern. And he said, Tiffany Stone, you are not going to make your college decision based on the material of the basketball court. You're going to William & Mary. You say so. I'll never forget that. William & Mary has a wood floor now, by the way. And last but certainly not least, Jack Nagle, the maestro, the best coach we've ever had, I've ever had. He walked in the room and you just respected him. He taught us beyond the plays and really beyond basketball, how to work with each other and play your role, and things that you carried with you through the rest of your life. It was just, you didn't know it then, but I sure know it now. And I use it with the teams that I coach as well. Just so, so important. And he was so loyal to us. Geez, we certainly weren't the most athletic, right? I mean, but we were the best coached. And that gives you a lot of confidence in any situation. You know, you've got a basketball genius behind you. You can do a lot of things. When I was a freshman, Coach Nagle used to call me the baby. I was about this size, but he'd call me the baby. And it was because I was so shy. I didn't want to go in. I didn't want anyone to look at me. I didn't want to make a mistake. I was playing with Linda Mannion-Hurst and Heidi Lang and Casey Ware and Allison Mathea and Julie Shanahan and all these people, and they all seemed to know exactly what they were supposed to be doing. I had no idea. And I would sit on the end of the bench and I just I wouldn't even face the rest of the team. I did not want to go in. But the seniors that year, Linda, Heidi, Casey, the rest of them really took me under their wing. And I remember the first day they would say to me, you're going to be so great. You're so great. I haven't even done anything. What are they talking about? Is this some kind of a mean setup? I haven't even done anything and they're telling me I'm so great. But it was so sincere, and that's what Whitefish Bay is. It wasn't about them. It was about us being good, and they wanted me to have confidence, and boy, they sure gave it to me. And I thought to myself, you know, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, but I'm not going to let them down. They think I am, so I damn well better get graded pretty fast. Wasn't going to let them down. And I think we were all driven by a desire to not let each other down, or let Coach Nagle down, or let Whitefish Bay down. There was just too much history and too much tradition behind it. And like I said, we certainly weren't the most athletically talented. We heard that a lot of articles about how slow we were. But we beat teams we had no business beating because Nagle believed in us, we believed in him, we bought into the philosophy, we believed in each other, and that's really kind of what it's all about, right, when it comes down to it. His philosophy was built on building your offense around the players you have and executing executing with excellence. Now that I'm coaching, I see what a rare thing that is. I've coached with a bunch of different head coaches, and when I just watch them try to force their favorite offense on a team and watch us lose. That's why I've left a lot of teams, and I'm now with Coach Snipes, very much like Nagle. Everyone has a role. You have to do your job. For me, that was every rebound, every put back. My dad used to say, think of it as every shot is a pass to you. It's a bad pass. Go get it. And a post player is like a first baseman. You got to catch everything. You may not get it again, so if it comes near you, you better catch it and do something with it. And Mr. Nagle was big on not over-preparing. The other funny story I have is he, and Mr. Thilke knows this, Thilke's teams would be running and sprinting and running, and we would have to beg Jack Nagle to run. We'd have a big game coming up, and we'd say, can we just run one killer? Just one. You can run one. So we'd try to run a couple, and he'd be like, that's enough, girls, that's enough. No more running. And not like the running. Don't over-prepare, don't over-train. But a lot of things that kept us healthy and kept us in the game long term. In terms of games that we shouldn't have won, I just have to talk about a few. The sectional finals when I was a junior, we played Heartland Arrowhead, and at the time they had two 6-footer sisters, the Cameron sisters, who were going to go to Madison. Very well known, dominant, Division I prospects. My dad loves to tell a story about Denise Lewis, our point guard, got fouled in the game, and I went to give her 5. And I hit her so hard, this is on a VHS tape too, that she was shaking her hand. Now she had to go shoot 2 free throws, and she's shaking her hand. She missed both free throws. Still won the game. Well, my dad loves to tease me about that. So after that, throughout our run, whenever I'd give someone 5, you'll see pictures of me going like this, because I would be darned if I was going to force someone to miss a free throw again. You're lucky to still be in it. We won that game by a couple points, maybe unbelievable. And then we moved on to the state tournament. We want to talk about a Hoosiers moment. Walking into that field house for the first time and realizing you're going to play there. Oh, it takes your breath away. You can't control yourself, how nervous you are. Amazing experience. Some funny stories on that. I was rooming with Sarah Brinker and Kelly Elliott, Spike Elliott. They were seniors, I was a junior. Because there were only 2 beds. Because they were seniors, they said, you're the youngest, you sleep on the floor. I slept on the floor the entire stage. You didn't tell Mr. Nagle that until probably 10 years later. The first game we beat Merrill. They had a 6'4" post player that I swear she was a linebacker. Maybe she played tight end at Wisconsin later. I have no idea. We beat them. The semis we played Watertown. And you know, in those days there wasn't a lot of film. You didn't, and that was probably a good thing, because had we watched these teams, I think we would have been scared to death. We heard about them, and then we walk on the floor and play them. Watertown. I don't know what got into me. I was 7 for 7 from the line. It must have been out-of-body experience. We won that game. And then we played DC Everest in the finals. And that was a buzzsaw. We got killed. 50-35. I'll never forget that score. Even when I'm coaching now and I see 50-35 on the scoreboard, I start to conniption, a stroke. It hurt. And I won't forget that. I haven't forgotten it. I haven't forgotten the feeling of getting trapped in the corner and not knowing what to do. And it was rough, but we lost. We came in second. But Coach Nagle was still amazingly proud of us. He never showed disappointment, even though for him, that was the one. That was the one. We needed to do that, and we didn't get it done, but he never showed disappointment. We got further than anyone thought we would. And when the rest of the state coaches community criticized us for shouldn't have even been there in the first place. Coach Nagle fiercely defended us. And even when he thought we weren't listening, we heard him, and that taught us a big, big lesson. Sometimes losing in adversity teaches you much more than winning. And so even though we didn't win that game, I think that loss has driven me a little bit my whole life. In college, I was lucky to go to William & Mary, thanks to Mr. Philke telling me not to make decisions based on a basketball court. And thanks to my dad, my agent, who had sent out all those VHS tapes. We went and visited William & Mary with my sister. My sister will remember this well, I think. We got lost trying to find the field house. We must have walked 5 miles. It was May or April, very hot in Williamsburg. And my sister was just over it. She was 7, right? 6 or 7. We finally found the coach, and he said, "Let's go on a tour of the campus." And I was like, "Oh my God, what do you do?" So we walked the campus again. After the tour, head coach Jack Nagle asked Lacey what she thought of the school. Do you remember this, Lacey? And she said, "Yeah, it's great, but I'd like it more if I could have an ice cream." We said, "Okay." So she got an ice cream, I got a scholarship, it all worked out. Lacey is a charmer. She charmed me. You know, so it was a great opportunity for me. There were a lot of naysayers who said I wasn't big enough or fast enough to play Division I, and I know I heard it. They expected me to fail and come back to Whitefish Bay and go to school in Wisconsin. But again, I had to prove them wrong, and I had to live up to everything we do here, and that's excellence, and that's focusing on the little things and being humble. I had a tremendous work ethic, very humble confidence, and that got me noticed. All I wanted to do, and that continues to this day, I work. Whatever I've got that can make the team better, you can have it. And that showed through. And Jason talked about the women's program almost getting canceled. That was a tough thing. And as a senior, I could have walked away and said, "Well, I'm going to finish my season. So you guys fend for yourselves." But that wasn't the right thing. And we actually found an attorney to take the case pro bono, met with him after a game at American University secretly. We took our case, and we did take on the school, and we were able to reinstate the program, and I'm very proud to say they had a 20-win season this year and finished in the semis in the CAA conference. So they're close. They're going to be there. Mark my words. They'll be in the tournament in the next 5 years. I believe that. But in the end, and I've learned this from all of you, my teammates, Coach Nagle, teachers, family, it's really about your impact on people. What impact are we making on other people? And you have a choice. It can be a negative impact or it can be a positive impact. It's about making room for others because there is enough for everyone. You've got to see people's strengths and make them stronger. Point out what others don't see in themselves, like my teammates did when I was a baby. And believe in someone else and they'll start to believe in themselves. That has served me well in my career and also in coaching. And like I said, I coach at St. Pius at the time in Atlanta. And my greatest pride now is when one of the players comes back and tells me what an impact I've had on them. Or one of the parents tells me what a great role model I am. Or just, and I know all the coaches here know the same thing. When you're in the gym and you hear someone yelling your name and you turn around and it's a college freshman coming back for the first time and they just want to give you a hug. There's nothing better than that. And in the workplace, the same thing. If I just have a peer or associate tell me I made some kind of impact on them that helped them get that promotion or get that next thing, that's all that really matters to me at this point. What's really special about this award is that I couldn't have achieved this or anything else I've accomplished in my life without Whitefish Bay. I feel very blessed to have grown up here and been able to go to school here and be exposed to all of you folks. And everyone who supported me along the way, starting with my amazing family. It's us, we got us, the 4 of us, right? I love them so much. This honor means a ton to me, but I think it means even more to them, and I can't thank you enough.